Welcome back, Year 8s. It's Mrs. Chung and Miss Allen here, and we're going to do a recipe all about stir frying to go with our Japanese food theme and our healthy eating and vegetarian food generally. So stir frying, okay. Accompanying this video there is a PowerPoint, and in there you've got a step-by-step. You've also got an ingredients list and a method list. So our ingredients that we've got, I've got some noodles here, and I've got whole wheat noodles. They're dry in the packet. Use whatever you can get hold of really. Just obviously check the allergens if you're allergic to anything. I've prepared these already, so I've put them in some boiling water for about 6 to 7 minutes, and I've drained them, and they are here ready to go into our stir fry. So these are already rehydrated and cooked and ready to be used for our stir fry. So it's vegetarian stir fry, so we're going to be adding vegetables in there. Use whatever seasonal vegetables you've got handy, whatever is, needs using up in the fridge. It's a really good way of using those things up, okay? Knife safety, make sure that your knife stays on the chopping board or somewhere safe at all times. You don't walk about with it, you don't run around with it. Make sure you've got somebody to supervise you as well, because not only are you using a knife, you're going to be using a frying pan or a wok on a hob. So just be mindful and make sure you've got somebody to help you with you. When you're chopping as well, just something that I always say in my lessons, make sure you've got the knife the right way up, please. So double check that. So we've got a selection of vegetables that I've got in the school kitchen here that we've been able to get. So I've got some frozen chopped onions, so use fresh onions and chop them. We chopped onions in year 7, so I'm not going to go back through with that with you. I've got some pepper that's a bit left over. This is going to be perfect for our stir fry. I've got some soya beans here. I've got a mushroom, and I've got some spring onions. So I'm going to put all of those into our stir fry. Alternatively, if you just want to practice the actual sauce and the flavourings, these are available in lots and lots of different supermarkets. They're already prepared for you. So if you want to have a go and just use one of those and practice using the hob at home and cooking for your family and just doing the noodle part, that's fine. So I'm going to start off by just chopping up my vegetables. Point of stir fry is it is very, very healthy because the food is cooked very quickly over a high heat. It's not actually in contact with the heat for very long. It retains lots of its nutrients and its textures as well. So the key to that is, and I think on the PowerPoint that accompanies this, there's a vegetable cut guide. We're looking for julienne matchstick shapes. So this is how I would do julienne. I'm going to do the matchsticks with a carrot. Carrot can be quite tricky because it's quite hard. Make sure your chopping board is maybe got a tea towel underneath it to stop it sliding about. I'm going to use my claw grip just to give myself a flat edge of the carrot to work with. So that has got a flat edge. This carrot is not going to roll around anywhere. I'm going to maybe put that to one side for now. I'm going to use my claw grip to do some thin slices. The thinner you slice your vegetables, the better. I'm going to switch to the bridge hold just to cut that finer one. Okay, I'm going to choose 3 of those slices. Okay, make sure they're nicely evenly sliced, and I'm going to use my bridge hold to try and we're looking for matchstick shapes. Keep the shapes together, it's easier to cut, they hold together easier between your fingers, and stop sliding about. Even with 3 slices there, you can see they want to fall apart. So I've got like little matchstick julienne shapes, okay? If you were wanting to do dice shapes, what you could do is make your juliennes a bit thicker. Not that we're doing dicing for this lesson, but you are literally going to be going across again, and you will end up with tiny little cubes for your dices. Okay, but for the stir fry, it's probably better if you try and get everything in that sort of like matchstick baton shape and get them sort of equally sized. Okay, so for the mushroom, I'm not going to do too much to the mushroom. Mushrooms cook very, very quickly. I'm going to just use my bridge hold to just finely slice it. If you hate mushrooms, leave them out. If you don't have access to them, that's fine. So we've just got sliced mushrooms. With the pepper, okay, I've got a nice piece of pepper here. I am going to actually just top the stalk off a little bit here. And I'm going to turn it upside down So it's sitting on that flat base now because I've chopped the stalk off. It's not going to go anywhere. It's stable. I'm going to cut from the base down around the seeds, and hopefully we should end up with getting rid of most of the seeds. So we've got a nice piece of pepper there that we can slice into thin batons. Okay, so trying to aim for our veggies to be the right sort of, the same sort of shape and size, so they cook evenly and quickly. I've got some soybeans that I'm going to add in there. I don't need to do anything to those. I've got some spring onions here that I'm just going to take the roots off. And the little round disc shapes, little rondelles, you can do with these as well. You don't have to have them as matchstick julienne shapes. You can have small pieces like that. Use whatever vegetables you've got. Seasonal vegetables this time of year are going to be things like your carrots and your cabbages, you know, your winter root vegetables, okay? But see, supermarkets have got lots and lots of different stock. Right, so I'm going to move the camera over here and see. I'm going to switch the hob on. I'm using a wok, but obviously use frying pan. Non-stick frying pan's a good idea. Your heat on your frying pan needs to be quite high, so medium to high. And I'm going to add my frozen chopped onions first of all. Now the actual cooking process is very, very quick. All of the time is spent in prepping your vegetables, okay? So I'm just going to drop a tiny bit of onion in there and see. That is quite hot. And add your vegetables in the order that, like the hardest vegetables first. So in our case, I'm going to put some carrots in. You would obviously add all of your carrot. I'm going to put my peppers in next. Keep it moving because it's very hot, it will stick to the bottom otherwise. Okay, I'm going to put in my mushrooms and my spring onions. Keep it moving all of the time. Don't go off and wander off to do something else. This literally only takes 2-3 minutes. I'm going to put my soybeans in. If you want, you can add things like ginger, garlic, to make it all more aromatic. Okay, so you need to let that cook off for a minute or two. When that's done, you've got 2 more ingredients to add in. I'm going to add in a couple of tablespoons of soy sauce, and then I'm going to add my noodles. Okay, and I'm just going to coat those with all the veggie juices and soy sauce now. But it's really healthy because it's not been cooking for a long time. The food hasn't had time to lose its nutrients. It's nice and fresh and crisp. Make sure you've got somebody supervising you when you do this, because it is very hot. And when it's done, after a minute or two, that's it, switch your power off and plate it up. Okay, so there's enough in this recipe for at least 2 dinners. I would love, and Miss Allen would also love to see what you've managed to do. So take a photograph of your work and upload it to class charts, and we will feed back to you. So have a good go, good luck, and we'll see you soon.